Okay, welcome everybody. So, this is going to be a sort of call to action, if you will. Now, the reason that we wanted to make this video is if you run in any of the online paranormal scenes, you probably have heard some rumblings about this topic, but essentially, we are trying to spread the word and get out the notice that Jason Hawes is currently fundraising to acquire the Conjuring House at auction on Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah, this is definitely a message of support. We absolutely support what Jason has put forward. We absolutely support the idea of maintaining the house in a respectful and an welcoming environment. We support the fact that Andrea Perron herself basically called out to Jason, and Jason really did not want any part of this in that state. You know, it's a huge undertaking. It's a lot of responsibility, and he's a very busy human being. So to put that on his plate is a big order, but he is responding to just this outpouring of support for the concept, for the idea, because that's who he is in the community. He is well respected. He has enough influence, and he is never been a part of the sensationalization of the places that he goes. He's always kept things very close to the chest and very real. So that puts him in the ideal position to lead this endeavor.
Yeah, to sort of regurgitate what Jason already said in his video, essentially he's not trying to be the overlord, if you will, of the Conjuring House, but rather he wants to be more so at this point in a leadership position to help facilitate getting the property so that the necessary teams can come in and make it up to the standard it needs to be in, as well as making it affordable for folks who might not have thousands of dollars to just throw at an investigation.
2 years ago, we spent almost $4,000 visiting the Conjuring House, and that was just with the Conjuring House. That wasn't flights and stuff.
Right,
Exactly.
right. Because we also had to get hotel rooms outside of the Conjuring House. We had to get there. And all of that to say that the idea of paranormal business is very difficult. It's a very difficult thing because in order to have a business, you have to have something sensational. You have to have something sensationalized. But the truth of the matter is the Conjuring House is a widely misunderstood location. It has so much horror history that people have overlooked its paranormal history. They've overlooked the idea that there is far more going on there than just the jump scares or the what we learned from the movies. And that becomes a big part of this is I think Jason wants to preserve the idea that it is open for people to experience and have experiences and learn more about the world at large. And that is something that when we were going there, we experienced a lot of walls between us and being able to present evidence that we had got.
So many walls. But she was also crazy, so...
Yeah.
We reserve that. That is
That
is an opinion statement. We want to at least say it was very difficult to present our evidence from our point of view.
Yeah.
And I think that Jason Hawes respects people's points of view, and that that becomes a big part of anybody's paranormal experience. It has to come from what you experience and what you see and what you have this feeling for. Of course, if it is going to be affordable, it's also going to be very hard to manage. It's going to be a constant strain on scheduling and trying to get in and doing these things. And you do need an infrastructure that is ironclad. And it sounds like Jason really wants to put that forward. He wants to get an LLC that is going to represent the place, that is going to hold down the day-to-day operations, and that he will not be the direct overseer of it.
Yeah, he's not trying to profit from it. He's trying to protect it.
And I think he's mostly there as an advocate also for Andrea, because if you've ever had the chance to listen to Andrea, she is very outspoken about how she wants everybody to have the chance to go to this home that she cherishes. And she does have a very different take on her experiences in this home. But nonetheless, I think she fears what will happen to the home if it's taken over by somebody who does not respect it as much as she does. And unfortunately, that is sort of the climate that we're starting to see with these historic homes, where they're getting bought out by big corporations, which is totally fine. That's absolutely within their rights to do. But it does change the dynamic of how society views these homes, and it sometimes diminishes the reasons that we love these properties to begin with.
We end up shining lights on the highest peaks of any story, and we don't go any deeper in a lot of cases. And the truth of the matter is, in many cases, you don't have the opportunity to go much deeper because you don't have a lot of time to explore or expend time or things like that. So if the light is only shining on these very jagged points, people are going to think, well, that place is horror. That place is scary. That place has all these things. When there might be much more to learn about the paranormal simply by having access to it.
So the Conjuring House goes up for auction on Halloween, and there's a ton of hope. The current GoFundMe, which he just set up, the number is $56,000. So he already has enough for the $25,000 deposit to even be there,
right?
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
So the link is obviously in the description. If you want to go donate, the way that he put it is that if everyone could donate a little bit, we can make this happen. You know, if everyone could donate $5.
And this is where the community is really being called in.
Yes.
The fact that we have so many people whose interest, very diverse interest, but they know at the core, preserving this place, keeping it from being overly commercialized, keeping it from becoming overly polished is a very important thing. Trying to maintain the integrity of the space and being able to repair it, to bring it back to its functional glory. That is a big part of it. And there is so much to be done at the property. It has been sitting dormant for over a year, and property, when it is empty, deteriorates quickly. When you're not maintaining it, when you're not taking care of it, especially when you have harsh weathers and things like that. So going in sight unseen, I have to imagine there's going to be a number of issues that you're going to have to deal with. And then having someone like Jason Hawes at an overseeing capacity to be respectful, to know what to preserve and to know what to repair. That's very important. He is, after all, a plumber, so he would know a lot of the ins and outs of what deteriorates fastest in the building. That would be just one of those things that we're not just dealing with somebody who has paranormal experience, but also has home repair experience.
Yeah, and he has Satori, who we've been in contact with, and she,
and for years, amazing. Satori was a prominent member of the team at the Conjuring House, representing the Conjuring House in so many ways, and that becomes another thing that there is deep connection to the place, and it's a deep love of the place from the family. It is tied to them, so it is a good fit.
And something that I found important to note with Jason's video is he made sure to say if they do not end up acquiring this property, they will make sure that everybody gets their money back. So it's not like it's going into a hole and we'll never see it again.
Or even creating a network. I mean, there's time to come up with an answer for that, because this was definitely thrown on him.
Oh, really?
And
yeah,
so
absolutely.
This is a lot of reactionary, quick stuff. But I could see in the time being saying, like, if we don't get the Conjuring House, perhaps we can create an institute or a foundation that helps facilitate the preservation of these places or something to that degree. You could create a powerful nonprofit organization that helps historic sites maintain their integrity while also being open to allowing investigators in, creating a model for business to go forward, because it's the Wild West as far as haunted locations going, and they're being snatched up. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just when you're trying to sell the product, you become a part of a problem of disregarding pieces, right? You start to look at what is the shiniest thing about this, and the rest kind of falls away. So hopefully this is a open conversation for everyone in the paranormal community to say, oh, you know what? We have to be mindful that the pursuit of profit in these endeavors needs to also come with a heavy responsibility to maintaining some type of integrity and not losing sight of the fact that certain objects are culturally very significant, and certain areas are culturally being maligned because we recognize them as the classic. This was an ancient Indian burial ground. It's like even that phrase now is very problematic. This is an indigenous, ritualistic, and spiritual place, and we've dubbed it as a ghost factory. So we have to be mindful that we don't get into the practice of turning our fascination into profit.
So the most recent update, Maddie, I have it right here if you want to read it.
Yeah, so Jason made this post on October 4th, and it says, "This truly feels like a historic moment. I honestly can't remember the last time I've seen so many people from around the world come together with one shared goal to save something that matters. I want you to know how much this means to me. I've spent decades in this field and I've seen a lot, but watching this community unite like this is inspiring. It shows that preserving the Conjuring House isn't just about a building, it's about protecting a piece of history for everyone who has ever felt connected to it or wants to visit. This is so much more than just a fundraiser. Everyone involved is taking part in making history. This is our chance to show the world what we can do as a community."
Amen. Amen. That's beautiful.
So if you feel compelled, we had the GoFundMe linked down below. Anything helps. And otherwise, if you want to, you can follow Jason and Satori Hawes on all their social media platforms to stay up to date with all of the details of the ongoing progress of this.
And even if you're not going to be able to donate, share it. There's a hashtag Save the Conjuring House, hashtag Save the Conjuring House. Spread the word. Maybe your friends will, forego a cup of coffee and put it in this fund. This is the kind of grassroots movement that can get a lot of steam because we're not asking in any way, shape, or form for someone to come sweeping in with a check to buy the house. We're saying if you have something to spare, if you have something to give, that would go a long way towards the goal.
So I want to ask y'all, we're talking about saving this house, and I want to end it on this, is you've both been to the Conjuring House, will y'all tell the viewers why, from your own experience there, why this place is so important for someone responsible like Jason to have it?
I think the biggest point out of all of this, though, is that this home has such deep roots in multiple facets. On a historical front, the stories that came out of this house were a cultural phenomena. I mean, it made impacts in so many different forms of media and entertainment that just on that front, it should be respected. But on the other end of this was a family's home. And some of those family members are still living and they cherish this property. And when I met Andrea, something that she told me that I think was really impactful was when she was in college, her family was still living on the farm, and her mother, she decided that she could not stay in this home anymore. And which was very valid because Carolyn had a very intense experience inside this home. But she told Andrea, "I don't think I can survive another winter in this house." And so without consulting any of the daughters, including Andrea, they sold the house underneath her, and she felt like this property was ripped away from her. So this period of time where she was allowed to come visit the house and the property anytime she wanted was so special to her and her father as well. So I think if this gets bought by somebody who doesn't have the same intentions going into it, where they're just seeing it as a cash grab, you're almost in a way ripping this home away from a woman again. And that's not fair to her and her story that is making the profits that everyone else is benefiting from.
That speaks volumes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I want to say that Andrea Perron's takeaway from her experience led her to various levels of enlightenment. She does not go around telling horror stories. She doesn't hold a flashlight under her chin and talk about the terror that she underwent. She talks about love and light and beauty, and she talks about a universality and an idea that we are connected and interconnected, and that what she experienced puts her on a track towards a better understanding about humankind, a better understanding about the universe at large. It gives her this amazing wealth of warmth and love, and it comes from this place of having been a witness to something phenomenal, something greater than. And unfortunately, that part of the story is oftentimes overlooked entirely. And a lot of times that sensation, the fact that she has been an advocate towards this kind of peaceful and loving existence, has been overshadowed by screams. And unfortunately, I think the screams are going to win out if this goes into the wrong hands, simply because screams sell. Mm-hmm. And we talk about this all the time on our podcast, that there are far more happy ghost stories than there are scary ones. There are far more happy incidences, far more heartwarming incidences. They just don't sell. We're not sitting around the campfire to talk about how grandma came and patted us on the back after she had passed away. That doesn't read for the group. We tell the scary stories. We tell the stories that are sensationalized, and we add our emotional content to them to help us have these cathartic moments. But it would be a shame if we would sacrifice any of the depth obtained through these experiences in order to get the thrill.
And that's why we should save the Conjuring House.
Hashtag
Save the Conjuring House. All right, Madison, go ahead and close us out.
So yeah, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for listening to our opinions on this. And if you're considering donating, we greatly appreciate it. And
even if it's just $1.
even if it's just $1.
If all of us gave $1, that would be a lot of dollars.
Yeah, if you feel compelled, we personally thank you, and we'll extend the gratitude from both the Hawes family and the Peron family on our behalf. Yeah, I think this property is worth saving. It's so crucial to this community and a part of its identity. So if you want to be a part of that history, we would love to have you. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to this little episode, if you'll call it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and stay spooky, y'all.